I'm Jessica from Minnesota. I'm just calling because my son was taken from me yesterday from the NICU at Children's.
Yeah, how old is he?
Technically, he is not newborn state. He is 3 months only because he was born 3 months early.
Okay, so when was he actually birthed?
At birth, he was 2 pounds 8 ounces, and he was 27 weeks.
What day was he birthed?
I gave birth October 24th, 2014.
Okay, October, November, December. Okay, he's 3 months old. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, where was he supposed to be discharged?
He was supposed to be discharged 3 times over. He was finally discharged yesterday. The hospital did give me a call. I missed it. I was with my daughter. I had called back because they had told me he was being discharged, but that was it. When I called back, they wouldn't give me any information. They told me to call my CPS worker. I had then called her, and she said,
why do you have a CPS worker?
So I'm confused. They're saying that I'm not eligible to raise my son due to the feeding problems that he has, which is incorrect and false accusations.
Okay, so what? Okay, one more time. Why do you have a CPS worker?
Because so the hospital has a social worker, and the social worker is saying that I'm unable to. My son has feeding problems. From birth, he's been able to breathe on his own. Doesn't have any medical problems except for feeding. He has reflux problems. Therefore, he needs to have a special bottle. He needs to be in a football hold and paced while feeding, and I had gone through classes through the hospital to learn this, and went there every day to provide for my son. They feel that I'm not good enough and reported it to Child Protection. Child Protection had called me. I went to go visit with them, and they're looking at it as they don't know why they have the case either. She had read a bunch of forms out, which I was very unclear on exactly what it was that she was reading me, but wouldn't reread it for me. But I thought to be cooperative, thinking that would help my case, not knowing any rights whatsoever, and sign the forms. It was 3 days later. I had learned that he was being discharged, which was yesterday, and foster family came in and took my son, and nobody had told us anything up until I had called the hospital, wanted to know if we could come pick him up or not. By then, he was already taken.
Okay, so what did you do after you found out he was taken?
I called the child protection worker, and she said there was nothing I could do until Tuesday. I had asked where he was, if he needed anything, if he was okay. They wouldn't give me any information. Furthermore, they told me I didn't have the right to know where my son was, and said that anything that he needed, the hospital provided.
Okay, so what did you do next?
I haven't done anything. I don't know what to do.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
Okay, if somebody took your bicycle, what would you do?
Call the police.
What did you call the police?
I did not.
Did you file a report?
I didn't.
Did you say that there was a theft of your property? Why not? Why don't you make it a public record? Why don't you let the whole world know?
I don't know my rights, and I figured that there were.
You had a bicycle stolen. You had your piece stolen. You have a yo-yo stolen. You have your wallet stolen. You have your cell phone stolen. What do you do?
Call the police.
You make a report.
Right.
Local authorities. No, you don't call them. You go down there and you say, I want to file a complaint. I don't know who has my property, but I know somebody here around here knows where my property lies, and I want my property returned immediately.
Okay.
That's all.
So you're saying file a complaint?
That's it. And it just says it's my property. And it just says it's your child. I don't know anything about no child, but I got property. I created something. It's my property. Nobody else has a right to use it or enjoy it but me without my consent. It's my property. And I want to file a complaint.
Okay.
And if somebody's got my property, I'd like to return immediately. That's all.
Okay.
And they're going to say, well, we can't file this. But that's right, we can't. But I can.
Okay.
Say, well,
now.
You see, but you see what I'm saying. You're going to have to start concentrating because you're a woman and your mouth works 10,000 times faster than your brain. So you're going to have to understand. They're going to say, well, we don't file a form like that. We can't take that form. It's like, that's right, we don't, but I do. I am not we.
Okay.
So we don't take the complaint. I am going to write out the complaint, and I am going to hand it to you, and you're going to file it, and you're going to give it to the proper authorities, and you're going to take it through the chain of command, and you're going to give it to the prosecutor, and then the prosecutor is going to determine whether or not he wants to take the case. He wants to hear the complaint. If he wants to move it, you just take my complaint, and you hand it up the food chain.
Okay.
It's just that simple. So look, I just want to make a recording of this, that my property, there's been a theft of my property. I went to the hospital expecting to see my property where it lied the day before. I got to the hospital and the property was gone. Somebody took my property without my consent. Just that simple. It was a theft of property. And if they use your child kidnapped? No. Was my baby kidnapped? No. It was theft of property. So somebody took your newborn? No. My property. And if they say, well, now you're just being silly, then you say, you know what? You need to get in touch with your legal department, lady at the police department or man at the police department. You need to get in touch with your legal department. And your legal department will tell you the difference between property and child.
Okay.
Right, because child is a legalese word. Property is the word of man. So there's a man in here making a claim that his property has been stolen. His property there's been a theft of his property. There's been a taking and carrying off with his property. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason why you're making a complaint, not a claim, is because you can't point out the person who actually walked away with it.
Right.
If you knew Susie Cupcake walked away with it, and you could eyewitness her and pick her out of a lineup, you can make a claim because you know it's true. But a complaint is, honestly, you really don't know where the hell a kid is. You really don't know who picked it up. You know if space aliens abducted it. You really don't know because you weren't there.
Okay. Now, they're threatening I have a 2.5-year-old daughter that is currently with me right now, and they're threatening to come and see her or take her. How do I protect her?
What do you mean it's threatening?
Well, right now, they're saying that part of this case is they have to see my daughter and check her out, and I don't think there's any grounds for her to even be part of this.
Okay, so why don't you? Where do you live now?
Right now, I live in Dayton, Minnesota.
Okay, so you live in Dayton, Minnesota. Where's the dad?
With me. He also lives with me in Dayton, Minnesota.
Okay, so why don't you just tell the dad, to take the child someplace else until it settles down?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I do. I take the child to some relative and say, look, this is getting kind of crazy here. We're going to need you to take care of this little bundle of joy for a couple of days until we figure out what the hell's going on.
Okay.
Yeah. And if anybody comes around and snooping around saying, where's this baby, where's this? It's like, how the hell do I know? Like I got
Okay.
I got 3 dogs outside and 4 cats. If somebody asked me where's my dogs, I was like, I don't know, they're on planet Earth somewhere. Well, can you be a little more specific? Probably in North American continent. But other than that, I'm really not sure.
Okay.
Why? What's it to you? Is there some law that I have to know where my dogs are? No, they're my property. Don't worry about it. Is that you got a vested interest in that property? No. Then what the hell are you asking me? Is it your property? No. Is it state property? No. Then what the hell are you doing knocking on my door? I wish to be let alone. You're trespassing, right? Just like that phone call I did today with that lady. Did you hear that phone call I did today with that lady?
No, I didn't.
Okay, well your friend did. She listened. They had 3 sheriffs at the door, the captain and a couple of social workers.
Oh.
And I walked her through it. This is what you say to them. Now you say this, and I say this, and I say this, and they got in their car and left.
Okay.
And I told the lady, I said, you're from Guyana, so I know you're Catholic. And she said, yeah. I said, then why ain't you going to the church and asking them for help? Because they'll help you and your daughter get that grandbaby into someplace safe. They'll bypass the whole state crap. And the state can't do a damn thing about it. And I don't even bother asking you if you were Catholic or not. I didn't bother.
I am.
Yeah, but I kind of figure, like I said to the lady is like, I said, how old is this kid? Just like, and she said, it's 3 months old. So I said, you just wait a second. And I called up my sister on the phone. I said, hey, Karen. She said, yeah. Got an easy question for you. When do kids get baptized? She said, about a week or 2 after they're born. I said, okay, great. 10 days? She said, yeah, 10 days. I said, great. I said, this lady, how long has this kid been with you? She said, 3 months. I said, why ain't the kid baptized? And she's like, well, I said, yeah, because you're too damn lazy. You just don't give a shit about the Catholic Church anymore for whatever reasons. I said, the only problem is, I said, you don't understand, man. That's a great place to run to when you need help. I said to my sister, because my sister's one of these modern women, 50-year-old modern women who don't believe in a Catholic Church and decided Mother Nature and all this other crap for a while there, and tree hugaboo shit. And I said to her, hey, when you went out to San Francisco and you ran out of money, what did I tell you to do when you couldn't afford an apartment? I told you to go to the Catholic Church, right? And she said, yeah. I said, how long did it take you to get an apartment in, like, the most expensive city in the world? She said, immediately, they got me a place to stay. I said, that's right. They got you an apartment. I said, then when you moved out to Newport News, Virginia Beach, and you had no money, what did I tell you to do? I told you to go back to the Catholic Church and ask them for help. How fast did they get you a place to live? She said, immediately. So I said to the lady, Natasha from Guyana, I said, do you understand, ma'am? Do you understand how fast the Catholic Church will move? I said, do you understand that the Catholic Church is the #1 free health provider in the world? Free.
Right.
They give you free homes. They give you free medicine. Free. They just go find a nun. I said, don't find no archbishop, no cardinal, no priest. I said, you go find a nun. And those women, they'll bend over backwards, man, to help you. I said,
Okay.
the most of the priests are drunk by 5 o'clock. I said, don't deal with those guys. I said, deal with the nuns. They actually give a damn. I said to them, because my sister, she's like, well, I'm all modern, and I got 2 master's degrees, and I'm very secular, and I don't do that Christian stuff anymore. Not since I've been dragged in church when I was a kid. I gave up on that 40 years ago. I said, well, you know what, honey, you're going to go kiss some ass and go work with these Catholic people because they're the only thing that's going to save your ass right now. I said, I know Jehovah Witness people will, Catholics will, and I know Salvation Army people will. Everybody else, I don't really know how fast they'll provide you shelter, food. I don't know how fast Southern Baptists will or Missionary Baptists. I think Missionary Baptists are pretty good. But I don't know, But I know, I said, if you're Catholic, use the Catholic, use that card that you got,
Okay.
to protect. But like I said, you really don't have to run to them because if you got family to bring the 2-year-old, use family. But this other lady was from Guyana, and she didn't have anybody in this country. So I said, well, use the Catholic Church to your benefit. Tell them that your child is in danger and your grandbaby's in danger. And tell them that, you don't understand why. And right now we just need help. And I'm sure those Catholic nuns will find a way to help you. I said, if you want to abandon the kid with the Catholic Church, they'll be more than glad to take on your kid and come back in a year, and a week, and 10 years. They'll give your kid back, no questions asked. I said, you try to do that stunt with the state, they're going to be like, oh, no, you got to pay for the kid being in foster care, child support, you got to pay all kinds of nonsense. I said to the people, I said, before you get into dire straits, I said, run to the church and see where the church could help you, set you up with a place to live and food. They did with my sister.
Okay.
Yeah, but like I said, if you got family, stick with family first. And then, like I said, that nonsense with them taking your kid, you better believe the first thing I did, man, is I went down and filed a report of, theft. And it was so funny when I went down there. I filed it at the city level, the county level, and I went to the federal level. It was funny. Like I said, I remember the man's name was Sandy Callahan Jr. at the Department of Justice. As he had his yellow pad and his pencil all out, ready to take down the report of what was stolen. And as soon as I said my property and I described it, I said, well, it's like it's about 2 days old. It's 2 pounds 9 ounces. And he just stopped. He's like you're describing a baby? I said, no, it's property. And he took the paper and pencil down and said, oh, that I can't help you with. I said, I don't care if you can help me get it back. I just want to file a report that my property's been stolen. It was a theft at the hospital.
Right.
And if anybody could find it and locate it, I'm just trying to let you people know that I want it to return to me. In case you find it laying on the side, somebody picked it up and walked off with it, and they find it laying on a sidewalk somewhere. I wanted to make you know that it's mine, and I'm looking for it to come back.
Okay. Now, where do you suggest that I filed a complaint? He was in St. Paul at Children's when he was taken, but I live in Dayton, which is in Hennepin County.
Well, what was taken?
When my son was taken, he was in St. Paul, but I'm in a different county and town. So where would you suggest that I file the complaint? Where he was taken or where I live?
No, where the property was stolen from.
Okay.
Yeah, if the property was stolen in Hawaii and you live in Alaska, it ain't going to benefit you to make a claim in Alaska that your pocketbook was stolen in Honolulu.
Right.
What do you want us to do about it? It's out of our jurisdiction.
Okay.
Yeah, so you just go there and say, look, it's a property was taken from me, and if it's like, well, we don't take those reports. So look, I don't know how it was taken. Maybe a band of gypsies took it. I don't know. They're trying to tell me social service workers took it. I don't know who took it. All I want to know is I want to put this on a public record. If anybody finds this property laying around somewhere in a waste pit, in a trash can somewhere, this is what it looks like. Here's an exhibit. Attach it to this complaint that stolen, missing property. And I want it back. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Thank you.
All right, just give that a shot. And like
Thank
I said,
you. This helps.
Yeah, because what's happening on Tuesday?
Well, as far as I know right now, I have court on Tuesday to fight my case.
No, they're going to give you they're going to give you a dependency hearing within 72 hours, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what you got going on. Say the child is not dependent on anything other than its mother. That's my property. Return it immediately.
Okay.
Yeah, just say, have I done anything wrong? No. Is anybody making a claim that I've done anything wrong? It's like, no. Well, then you have no jurisdiction.
Okay.
They don't have any control. If there's no claim on file that you've done anything wrong.
No, nothing at all.
Right. Then so I require you to return my property.
Okay.
And the judge will keep trying to correct you and saying it's your child. It's like, no, it's property. Only I could claim it because I'm the creator. Say, ma'am, did you create it? No. Okay. Who's got custody of my child now? What do you think the judge is going to say?
We can't tell you.
The judge is going to say the state of Minnesota or the county of butt fuck, right?
Right.
Okay, it's like, did butt fuck create my kid? Did the state of Minnesota create my kid? No. Did the state of Minnesota have any interest in that property? No. What interest means, did they put anything into it, like money? Do they have any interest in my property? That's my property. I created it. Did the state of Minnesota ever create a child? No. Did the county ever create a child? No.
Right.
Then who has any right to that child, that piece of property, other than me? No man or woman on planet Earth. And certainly not a creation of man called the county of whatever, county of Winnemucca, and certainly not the state of Minnesota.
Right.
You know, they didn't create. No, they never created a human being. They're not the creator. I'm the creator. Who created that piece of property? I did. Who labored over it? I did. It's mine. Who else could claim it's theirs? Nobody. Then you better return it, because it's a theft. And when I find out who created this theft, and if I know, Judge, if I know you know where my property lies, and you don't order the immediate return, I'm going to hold you liable as well. You better pray, Judge, that you don't know where my property is, because if you do and you're holding it back from me, I'm going to make you liable as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And, Judge, I know you're a mandated reporter. You heard that I just reported that there's a crime that was committed. Now, go do your duty and notify the local sheriff's department, notify the local prosecuting attorney's office, district attorney's office, and let them know that you heard a woman testify in court that a crime has been committed. You're a mandated reporter, ma'am. You have to report when you hear that there's a crime committed.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Well, if you said okay, I'd believe you were from Minnesota, so obviously you're not from Minnesota.
Oh, I'm from Minnesota.
Originally?
Yeah, I was born and raised here.
And you don't have that crazy accent? No.
No.
Oh.
I thought that, no.
Oh, you lived in the city, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is. Not a Winnemucca, huh?
I'm from originally St. Paul.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you had cable TV down there since you were a kid. That makes sense, huh?
Right.
Okay. Not one of those prairie kids.
No.
All right. All right,
but
well,
I
good luck.
appreciate all your help.
All right, well, hopefully your friend listened and she could explain to you a little better what I just said to you.
Yes, thank you. And I'll definitely keep you up to date.
Okay.
I appreciate everything. I'll start here on everything you had let me know.
Yeah. Okay. All right, good luck. It sounds pretty simple. It shouldn't be very complicated.
Yeah,
and what you do, too, is, I'm sure your friend will tell you, make sure you put it all in writing and you hand it to the judge.
Okay.
And when you hand it and you put it in writing and hand it to the judge, make sure before you hand it in writing and put it to the judge that you go someplace and get it notarized, because they're probably not going to let you time stamp it at the family courthouse.
Okay.
They probably won't accept it. They'll tell you wait until you get to the judge and she'll time stamp it. She'll stamp it for you.
Okay.
But
everything I handwrite?
Yeah, handwriting, and a lot of courthouses nowadays have their own timestamp machines for the public. You could just ask the court clerk, do you have a machine here to timestamp my paperwork? And if she says, no, give it to me and I'll do it for you, what happens is these busybody, nosy clerks will start reading it, and she'll say, oh, I can't stamp this. So that's why I tell people, you know what, go to the local bank and get it notarized.
Okay.
That's good enough. And then, like I said, when you get it notarized, then go to the court clerk. After you get it notarized, like, so you got to go Tuesday, go Monday and get it notarized. And then Tuesday, you go to the court clerk, before you got to go to court, say, hey, can you just timestamp this for me real quick? And she says, A, what's this all about, A? And then just say, it's none of your damn business. Just timestamp the damn thing, because I got to get in the courtroom in 2 minutes. And she'll start reading it. She's like, hey, I can't tell. Oh, this, no. You an attorney? No, the only attorney could do this. It's like, okay, fine. That's why I got it notarized. Don't worry about it, ma'am. Thank you anyway. So when you get it notarized too, you keep the original one, and then you copy theirs, and you write the word copy at the bottom for them.
Okay.
Yeah, but you keep the original. And make sure you try to do everything in blue ink.
Okay.
If you get copied in blue ink, that'd be good too. If you got a copy machine that copies it, copy it in blue ink. That way the judge knows, the judge knows certain things that you're doing.